Will always yes, always yes, always yes, always yield. Stack will magically disappear. Our opponent will line up some blocks that totally don't matter. You can kill the Titan if you want to. Doesn't matter. Just take the damage. It's the same thing, pretty much. Alright, untap land off the top, I think is just a win. Dryad. I think we're getting stomped here. I mean, we're still very close to having Titan. We get another draw step at just finding an untapped land. Hello and welcome, guys. We are currently 2-2 with the list you see on screen right here. Lost tragically last round to our opponent, also playing Amulet of Vigor. We are hoping to get this 3-2 and get our entire league value back. And if not, that's alright, because we've still gained some knowledge, some valuable information, some entertainment, some enjoyment. Hopefully you would agree, and if you do, then leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Anyways, I will see you guys in the games. We haven't yet had a spot for our Oblivion Stones in the sideboard, sadly. I have to admit, that doesn't bode well for the card. Maybe we just didn't run into the matchups for it, I don't know, but we'll see. I'll have some thoughts for that at the end of the match here. Alright, let's hop on in here. On the draw. Playing against Mr. Bamberry. Not familiar with that username personally. Our opponent is possibly revealing a companion here. Would not be surprised. Usually that's what these long pauses at the beginning mean. And our opponent just really doesn't know whether they want to play first or not. Crazy, right? No companion so far. We have a hand that is just shy of casting turn 1 Scout, but we do get turn 2 Explore, and we have Titan ready to go, and Garenbrig for some acceleration, so I'm going to go ahead and keep it. We can turn 2 Explore into turn 3 Azusa, turn 4 Titan, which is not too bad. If we draw an Amulet, this hand just becomes insanely good as well, so there's that. Opponent leading on Flooded Strand, you got it. And like I said, no companion, so it's interesting. We'll play out the Garenbrig here and pass it back. This gives us the option of casting either Explorer or Tribe Scout this upcoming turn, depending. Fetch for Raugrin Triome, so a blue interactive matchup. Nice, nice. Quite possibly 4-color control here, 4-color Omnath. Arid Mesa. It's an interesting choice for a fetch land. That one doesn't get a blue land, so don't know if that means anything in particular. Ariok Champion. Main board. Okay. Sure. Let's, I guess, just explore here. If we hit an untapped green source, then we could cast Scout. We didn't, but that's alright. I'm going to go ahead and play out the Garenbrig here, because we can explore plus Scout next turn anyways, or just slam Azusa, but if we top deck an Amulet, we can actually play Amulet, bounce land, float 3 between the Growth Chamber and one of the Garenbrigs, leave 1 untapped, play Azusa, and then play land, activate Garenbrig Titan, so top decking an Amulet here would be good. Otherwise, we're just playing either these 2 spells or this spell, depending on what occurs here. Not super scared of our opponent's Ariok Champion, I have to admit. It's a very interesting choice for the main board here. Saheeli Rai. Alright, so we're playing against Cat combo and could just be dead this upcoming turn. That's great news. Not much we can do about that. We could play Azusa plus Scout here, or we could Explore. I'm not sure which is better. If we're just going to get Cat comboed this upcoming turn, it doesn't matter regardless. But assuming that doesn't happen, I guess maybe we want the Azusa already in play. We already have the lands that we need access to, so maybe drawing the card from Explorer is just not relevant. Also, our opponent could potentially force a negation on our Explorer, which I don't know if they would do that, but that would be pretty annoying, so we can't play Azusa and Scout, however, unless we put Cavern on Scout. But we probably need Cavern on Primeval Titan. I.e. Giant. So I guess Explorer plus Scout is fine here. We'll be able to cast Titan this upcoming turn regardless, but it wouldn't be uncounterable. Nah. Uncounterable is a huge deal. I think we just have to play Azusa here. play the Growth Chamber. We'll pick up the Radiant. We'll play the Radiant, and then not show our... Oh, actually, we get to play this Cavern also, so never mind. We're playing the Cavern on Giant, and we'll just pass it back. Sorry, Scout, you got left behind, left in the dust. Turn 1 or bust, dude. Didn't come down turn 1. Now you get to stay in hand eternally. You're never leaving. See if we're dead here. If we're dead, then... I mean, we're dead. But if we're not dead, then we have some decisions to make. They scry. Doesn't really mean a whole lot. They could still have a land and Guardian, and they just wanted to get the trigger out of Saheeli before they cast the Felidar. Looks like maybe they could just be missing the land. They Skyclave away our Azusa. Totally fine with me. Didn't need it. Also, I finally learned the lesson that Skyclave cannot hit Primeval Titan because it specifically says convert a mana cost of 4 or less. I know that now, so I'm not going to be worrying about our Titans getting Skyclaved anymore. And we don't even need to use Cavern for this Titan here. Let's see. If we activate Garenbrig, Titan, get Crumbling Vestige. Crumbling Vestige plus Valakut would put us, would put us 1 mana away from packing for Dryad and getting a Valakut trigger, so kind of tragic. That wouldn't even stop our opponent's cat combo anyways. That said, I guess we could float one of the green from the Garenbrig in order to cast Scout as well as the Titan this turn. We could then, I guess, get double Valakut. That makes sense. We'll activate. We'll play Scout. We'll play Titan. We'll always yield here. I think double Valakut is the thing that sets us up for not losing to the combo the best if they miss on the land drop and or don't have the Felidar Guardian. But it plays into second path really horribly. That said, I suppose if we can't go for the Dryad thing, we can always just Summoners Pact for another Titan, so I'm going to get double Valakut here. Could be wrong. And I'm not going to play the land either. Having bounce land in hand is probably too valuable here, so... See if our opponent combos us. We could just be dead again. You know, a Splinter Twin situation here. Our opponent scries. Seems good to me. Try Skyclave in this one. Don't think so. Perhaps our opponent missed their land drop again. And now we're going to be able to be insulated from the combo. Soul Herder, alright. That is about to be dead. They're not even holding up Path for Dryad, so I actually think we probably just have lethal here, in all honesty. Getting rid of our Tribe Scout. Don't think that matters. See, we Pack for Dryad, put it into play, attack with Titan, get Vesuva copy, Valakut, and literally anything else, and that's going to be 3 times 2 is 6, times 3 is 18 damage on its own, and then land drop afterwards is just easily lethal, so... Yep. We did, in fact, set up these double Valakuts for a reason. Swing at them. Swing with the illusion, too. Why not? Alright. Vesuva and Talari West. We'll copy Valakut. Save these targets upstairs. We'll always yes, always yes, always yes, always yield. Stack will magically disappear. Our opponent will line up some blocks that totally don't matter. You can kill the Titan if you want to. Doesn't matter. Just take the damage. It's the same thing, pretty much. Very glad that we didn't die to the cat combo this particular game. Cool. Alright, second main phase land drop. Bajuka Bog, targeting you. Alright, game 2. Alright, so we want Dismembers to interact with a cat combo. I actually don't mind Oblivion Stone here either. I think it's a little slow, but I'm going to give it a shot. Probably not bringing in all three, but we'll try it. Rex Sage and Force probably don't hit anything relevant here. Tracker is good, but it's too slow to play around the combo. I guess it can potentially clock Saheeli, though, which is not irrelevant. I'll try a couple, assuming that we have cards to cut. Alright, we don't really need Bog here. I'm not really worried about Snapcaster Mage all that much. Ghost Quarter does nothing. One Summoner's Pack can go. Explorer is way too slow here. Maybe keep one Explorer. Just call it a day. Do we actually want Grazers here to speed ourselves up a little bit? I think a couple Grazers makes sense in this matchup. Trim the Explorer. Trim one of these trackers, I guess. We got O-Stones for the unsuspecting opponent. Yeah, I'm going to throw this one right back at our opponent this way. Maybe the Pact of Negation would have been a good inclusion. I don't know. Well, we have Dryad, which means that we have a way to interact with our opponent's cat combo. We only get to play Scout on turn 2, which is kind of slow, but I'm going to give it a shot. Could be wrong. If we untap, or if we top deck an untapped Forest, that's like the best possible thing. Untap green? Summoner's Pact. Alright, you got me. Garen Briggo. Glasspool Mimic, by the way, a very interesting one. I've tried this one in Amulet, actually. I thought about recording a video, but I never found it to be noteworthy enough to make an actual video on, so it's alright. We'll play this Scout. And I guess put a bounce land into play. Like, it kind of sucks that our opponent can use Cleansing Wildfire on our bounce land, but I mean, we got to play our lands, and the bounce land definitely is the best one to play here, rather than losing an untapped source for no reason. I guess maybe playing the Tolaria West makes sense, but I just want to have green mana in play so we can cast Dryad this upcoming turn, so I guess TUS, like leaving the Garenbrig in play, going TUS into untapped Stronghold to play Dryad might have been a little better. Whatever. Opponent plays Saheeli. Okay. This is a -2, so we would need to be able to do 2 damage to our opponent's Saheeli, at least, to stop them from comboing, which is non-feasible, so we won't even worry about that. Here's a Dryad. I guess just another bounce land, I don't know. Whatever. Let's play the Tolaria West now, actually. And I don't even think there's a reason to clock with the Scout. Getting an extra land into play is actually quite Valcut relevant, so right, land Felidar Guardian, and we're dead. They're fetching immediately. Feels like a 4-drop that kills us instantaneously. I'm ready. Show it to us. Alright. Well, alright, so I'll explain this real quick for those that are not familiar. Felidar Guardian is a 4-mana 1/4. When it comes into play, it flickers a permanent that they control, so exiles it and brings it back immediately. And what they do is they flicker their Saheeli Rai, setting it back to 3, and they can -2 the Saheeli Rai to make a copy of Felidar Guardian that has haste. And this flickers Saheeli Rai, rinse, repeat, etc. Infinite hasty Felidar Guardians, and we are, in fact, dead this game, so that's cool. On the play, I think we actually probably would have won, which is great, because we're about to be on the play now. I do think these Oblivion Stones are a little slow, but, I mean, come on. We can't not have Oblivion Stone here. I'm actually heavily considering just bringing in the third one because I want to play the card, but I don't think that's quite correct. Maybe one Pact Negation is not bad. I don't mind Pact. And we can trim... I don't know what. The Tracker. Nah, Tracker's good. Alright, you know what? I'm off of Oblivion Stone, okay? I'm not bringing it in. We have some trackers to clock our opponent's Saheelis, and that's what we got going, okay? I hate to do it. Hate to do it. Well, we have a Dismember to interact with the combo. Turn 3 Dryad into turn 4 Titan if we can top deck an untapped source and or bounce land, or both. And we have a Titan ready to go, so I mean, I think we're supposed to keep this. We could just never find lands and then just lose, but, you know, our deck is like more than half lands, so that's not super likely. We're only like 40 to 50% likely to draw a bounce land by turn 3 here anyways, though, so definitely a little sketch. Razor's not even a card. So, alright. I think the combo is like the #1 consideration for this matchup, though. I guess the thing that we want off the top here is an untapped source. to play a Dryad. Or even a bounce land. Just any land is good. Damping Sphere is annoying. There's a land. Alright, we'll fetch Shock a breeding pool here. So we have blue for transmuting purposes. And I think we just slam a Dryad here. If our opponent Skyclaves it, that's alright. We'll just play another one. Otherwise, we probably want this Dryad into play while we can get it in play. If they Skyclave, it means they're not playing a Saheeli as well. Or they don't even have the untap source. Okay. Bounce land is not bad here at all, actually. Yeah, we can manage to play an Azusa. I'm just going to play the Dryad here. I'm not playing around our opponent having Deputy of Detention, so... Alright, let's play out this Growth Chamber. Pick up the Forest and play the Forest. Play Dryad. Holding up Dismember here. Not like it really matters this particular turn, but... Alright, swing 2. Any untapped land... Actually, no. In order to cast Titan, we would need 2 extra mana, because the Summoner's Pact is our first spell, and then the second spell costs 1 more thanks to Damping Sphere, so we would actually need 7 mana to play Titan, so... You know, not that close, but that's okay. Felidar Guardian, perhaps. Avalanche Riders? What? Why? No, don't do this. Destroy target land with Echo. They hit the Garenbrig. Okay. That's not great. That one... There are many things that are great, and that is not one of them. Definitely not dismembering this anyways, though. It's already done what it needed to. There's a Valakut, which is actually not bad at all. Servant with both Dryads. We don't care about our life total. We're just trying to end this game before our opponent combos us. And I think we can just jam an Azusa here. I don't really see a problem with it, so... Azusa into play. I guess our opponent could potentially have, like, Ephemerate or something. Guess we should have held up the Dismember. Oh well. We've got a squad in play, so... And Dismember will stop the combo eventually, so as long as we're clocking our opponent, then this doesn't matter as much. Still not great for us, but that's alright. Yeah, I was not thinking about Ephemerate at all. Definitely should have been, but I wasn't. It would be funny if they had Glasspool Mimic here in hand to copy the Avalanche Riders. Oh, they played a Glasspool Shore. Okay. Oh, and they cast Ephemerate, so they can't cast their 3-drop either. I guess they were thinking about playing Saheeli Rai, perhaps? Yeah, we're not blocking that. We'll put our opponent to 5 and have lethal this upcoming turn. Seems good. Soul Warden, you got it. Crumbling Vestige. I don't think there's any real reason to play that, actually, so... We'll just attack with everything. Send in the squad. If our opponent has... I guess they get to rebound the Ephemerate. We probably have to dismember the Avalanche Riders, sadly. Oh, they are Ephemerating now. Alright, well, we definitely have to dismember this, so... Can't let ourselves get Stone Rained this many times. We're just doing it the hard way, just clocking our opponent for actual damage. They even chump block with the Soul Warden, which I enjoy. I guess we put a Crumbling Vestige into play. As Dryad is fixing our mana anyways, so... Rebound Ephemerate with no targets. Love it. They're 2 lands away from having Felidar flicker a land to reset it, place a Saheeli after, and then combo all in one turn, so... We might be getting there just with the creature beats. Especially if our opponent just continues to draw all lands. They probably should have held this Triome to cycle, unless they have something to do here. Bounce land is not bad at all. Valakut's already gone, which is kind of sad, but that's alright. I guess we just start out by playing our land drops, because there is some chance that our opponent just prevents us from being able to make our land drops by killing our creatures, for example. I'm not playing around flash threats here. I think we just gotta clock our opponent and try to end the game, so... We're only 1 land away from being able to Titan Vincer. Alright. They're gonna bounce something, the Dryad, and then eat up the Azusa. That's fine. Got them down to 5. All right, well, we're going to play our Dryad, of course. Pass it back. Now, if our opponent... I mean, they would need to have 3 cards to win on the spot here. If their 3 cards are a Soul Herder. That one's kind of annoying. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that one's pretty annoying. We can't even Pact into Titan. Maybe we should be casting Pact now for that reason. Wonder what they bounce here. Probably a Dryad. That would make a lot of sense. It might be right to just go ahead and cast this Summoner's Pact. I guess the one thing that's bad against is Vendilion Click. Because they could put our Titan that we searched for on the bottom and replace it with a random card. They bounce the land. Okay. Are we playing around another Ephemerate? Are we just sending both in? I think we're just sending both in. We could Pact for Tracker and play it. That's not bad. I don't know how many different like Ephemerate type effects our opponent would have to kill us. They would need to bounce like 3 lands, I think. No, they would need to bounce 2 lands, which they could easily do with an Ephemerate, but they've already used 2 Ephemerates. I guess they also have Soul Herder, so maybe Pacting for a Tracker is not the best plan here. Alright, I think I'm off the Pact for Tracker idea. Let's just play out all of our land drops here. Maybe not all of them. Maybe holding a forest in hand is fine in case we need to play it to trigger Val Cuts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nah, we actually just need to play out all of our lands here, I think. Especially since our Damping Sphere from our opponent's side of the table is turning all these double lands into single mana sources, which is pretty annoying. Opponent at 1. So close. Attacking with the Venser makes sense. They're just going to blink it with the Soul Herder, so... Oh, another Soul Herder. Oh, no. That is not great. Aether Vial. Alright. Well, there's some chance that we could beat this. I guess if we drew an untapped land source, then we could pack 4 and cast Titan and get Valcut. So untap land off the top is good enough. Bounce land might be as well. Even if they bounce a Dryad instead of a land. They bounce a land. Fine. Alright, untap land off the top, I think is just a win. Dryad. I think we're getting stomped here. Man. Alright, well, we'll play this Dryad. We'll play our land. Pick up the forest and put it into play. Don't think there's a reason to play Grazer. Can't attack into our opponent's Soul Herder. I guess we just gotta pass it back. I mean, we're still very close to having Titan. We get another draw step at just finding an untapped land. Difficult situation for sure. No attacks, makes sense. Right, another big draw step. A relevant land off the top, please. 5, 6. So, if they bounce our Gruul Turf, then that means we have to find exactly an untapped land. Bounce a Growth Chamber, it's the same thing. We have to find exactly an untapped land source here off the top, or like a Vesuva. Bounce land actually doesn't do it. That might enable us to do it this upcoming turn, though. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana total, which is 1 short of Pacting and then casting Titan, thanks to our opponent's Damping Sphere. So we just have to play both bounce lands here. And a forest. And the forest. And we'll pass it back. If we had natural Primeval Titan, this would have been good enough, but as of right now, it is not. Maybe could have played the Grazer to chump block a Soul Herder. That could have been good. If our opponent... No, our opponent can't even go Felidar Guardian into Saheeli Rai here. Because the Saheeli would cost 1 more thanks to the Damping Sphere, so we're insulated from that. I guess our opponent would need to start bouncing our Dryads, like go bounce Dryad, have double path or something to beat our Titan coming into play. They do bounce 1 Dryad. It's fine. Alright, I'm not playing around double path. There's just absolutely no way. I guess they could have like a Spell Queller, but I'm going to make them have it. Alright, second Valakut coming in clutch here. We want Valakut and Bounce Land for repeated triggers. Triggers upstairs. Whew! We got that match. I did not think that we were going to at that point. After the Avalanche Riders, I really thought that we lost. So, man, that was crazy. Our opponent flooded pretty hard, so. Anyways, we ended up 3-2 with this list, which is actually pretty decent. I actually think that I've been doing better with these more recent lists because of the inclusion of Tribe Scout and maximizing our untapped green sources on 1. I think that's the biggest factor for this deck's success, is being able to have untapped sources when you need them. It's very important, and a lot of times people ignore it, but like this configuration has the maximum number of Garenbrigs while also having almost enough to cast Soccer Tribe Scout on turn 1 with, you know, an 80% accuracy or whatever, just like an 80% chance of having the turn 1 lands untapped land in your hand. Something close to that. I think it was like 85. I don't remember. If you are interested in that, then go check out the last league that I played. About the Oblivion Stones. Honestly, we never got to play a match where Oblivion Stone would have been super relevant, and in the matchups where we could have brought it in, even matchups where we did bring it in, we never really got to activate it, so I feel like Oblivion Stone is a card that you want to play when you're trying to play catch-up, but oftentimes, Amulet is not trying to play catch-up at all. A lot of times, we're just trying to slam a Titan or a Dryad into play, and O-Stone is kind of the opposite direction of that. Like, the way Titan answers most problematic board states is by getting Valakut triggers with Dryad. And if you're just blowing up the board and getting rid of your own Dryads and Tribe Scouts and Amulets from play, that just doesn't seem like the best place to be, in my opinion. Of course, we never lost any matchups because we had Oblivion Stone, and we never really got to play it, so maybe I'm not giving the card a fair shot, but in my opinion, having a third Dismember and some other sideboard cards over Oblivion Stone makes more sense to me. Never got really to use the Deglammer either, so I don't know how that one would be. I just included it because I saw it in some other green deck sideboards, like, I think I saw some red-green Titan Shift lists playing Deglammer for the Heliod matchup, and so I was like, you know what? Let me give that a shot. So, it seems like it should be a decent inclusion, though. I don't think the Oblivion Stones are particularly good, though. Sorry, MHayashi, but thank you for the suggestion. If you guys want to see me play another league with Oblivion Stone, then leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, I feel pretty strongly about this main 60 here. I think this is basically going to be my main 60 going forward. The only question mark is this Turn Timber Symbiosis. I'm playing it because I can't really think of another untapped green source that I would want to play more so than Turn Timber, which is why the Turn Timber is here. Just casting it for 7 isn't really all that relevant in my opinion, and taking the 3 damage for the Turn Timber can actually be extremely relevant. I don't want another fetch land in the deck because that gives us problems against Leon and Arbiter, which is a card that does see play. Another basic land kind of feels like a wasted slot, although I don't think another basic forest is bad. In fact, it would be better than Turn Timber for purposes of having Garenbrig, and we even did see an interaction where one of our hands had Turn Timber as an untapped source and Garenbrig, but actually, that came up twice, because now I remember there was one part of the league. I don't remember which match, so if you remember it, then leave it in the comments below. But I played Garen Break thinking that the Turn Timber was a forest in play because it's an untapped green source, and then the Garen Break interplayed tapped. But if we actually had legitimately a forest there, that would have been better too. So we did encounter a couple of spots where a Turn Timber was actually just worse than a basic forest, which is not the greatest look for the card. So I think that if you wanted to play something over Turn Timber, just play a basic forest, and that would be fine. In fact, I actually think it could be better, but I'm not sure. In the sideboard, trackers have been overperforming. I like having the grazers. Still haven't played against a lot of aggressive red matchups. It's just been the variance so far, but having grazers to side in for matchups where we want to go a little bit faster and try to guarantee that we have our turn 2 3-drop has been nice. Pact of Negation has done basically nothing since I started playing it in the sideboard again, and that's why I had cut it in the first place. So not looking good for Pact of Negation either. I don't know. Let me know what you have been having success with, what amulet lists you like to play, and thank you for sticking with me to the end of this league. Yeah, I have nothing else to say. I'll see you guys in the next one. This is Redface Menace, signing off.